Every day, billions of physical goods cross oceans and roll off assembly lines in a blur of motion. This movement represents a calculated exchange. The entire marketing process operates on a strict two-way street. A company sends a product out to create value for a customer. In return, the company captures value back from that customer in the form of profit. If this exchange is unbalanced, say the customer looks at the price tag and decides the item doesn't solve their problem, the transaction fails before a single dollar changes hands. Establishing this value exchange provides the necessary foundation for a marketing strategy. Without it, most other business efforts struggle to gain traction. To create that value, a company must build what is known as a market offering. This is the specific combination of goods and services presented to the buyer. This chart outlines the attractiveness of the market offering, a framework that dictates why a customer chooses to buy. It relies on three specific pillars. The first base pillar is the physical product itself. This covers its actual features and its inherent build quality. The second base pillar is the services mix. These are the intangible benefits provided alongside the item, like customer support or a reliable return policy. Finally, sitting at the top is the price. A value-based price is set according to how the customer perceives the worth of the bottom two pillars, rather than simply calculating the cost of manufacturing. A product is viable for launch when all 3 points of this triangle are calibrated to the target audience. Once that triangle is balanced, marketers design the product using a structural blueprint called the customer value hierarchy. This diagram shows the 5 product levels, visualizing how an item evolves. At the absolute center is the core benefit, the fundamental need the customer pays to solve. In a hotel, that core benefit is rest and sleep. Moving outward, we reach the basic and expected product layers. These are the minimum physical features required to compete. A hotel guest expects a bed, fresh towels, and a working lock. The next layer is the augmented product, where a company adds unique features to distinguish itself. The final ring is the potential product, representing all future transformations to maintain buyer interest. Every layer a company adds pushes the product outward, increasing its competitive edge while simultaneously increasing production complexity and cost. Before finalizing the physical design, marketers classify the product by its durability. This classification determines the appropriate sales strategy. First are non-durable goods. These are tangible items consumed quickly and purchased frequently, like ice cream or soap. Because the profit margins are typically low, they require mass advertising to drive high volume. Contrast that with durable goods, like washing machines or refrigerators. These are built for multiple uses over many years. They require higher profit margins per unit and rely heavily on personal selling and customer trust. Whether an item melts in minutes or operates for a decade dictates how it must be packaged, priced, and promoted. That brings us to the exterior of the product. The physical container serves as a company's last opportunity to make a marketing pitch. Effective packaging provides a platform for innovation and brand identity while protecting the contents. A uniquely shaped bottle or clever opening mechanism communicates quality immediately. We must separate the physical container from the specific information printed upon it, the label. Labeling identifies the brand and grades the contents. It also displays legally binding warranties and guarantees, specifying the performance a customer can expect. When a customer is standing in a retail aisle, packaging and labeling operate as silent salespeople. They must convince the buyer to complete that value exchange. Successfully designing and launching a perfectly packaged product is a significant milestone, but it starts a ticking clock on the item's lifespan. This graph illustrates the product lifecycle curve. On the left are the introduction and growth phases, where sales and profits climb. Next is maturity. Here, sales peak, but margins shrink. Eventually, the product hits decline, dropping as the market moves to newer options. This financial decay is tied to human behavior. This chart shows the consumer adoption process. To delay decline, marketers must move the product through this curve, convincing different groups, from early adopters to cautious laggards, to try it. Because every product eventually hits that final decline, a company's true value lies in its ability to innovate, design, and restart the marketing process.